So it would appear that Miss Ponko here can't identify what it moved. My name is Ponko. But we humans have the power to imagine what it was, do we not? We do. Well, I do at the very least. Miss Panko, under the defendant's command, move the body onto the operating table. Panko, did you really move Dr. Sykes' body? This is really important. Isn't there any way you can tell? I don't know. Without an ID tag, I can't tell. Give it up, right. The victim's heart was stopped. The robot's detecting system would be useless. Furthermore, Dr. Sykes usually wore her white coat whilst he was walking. She kept the jacket with her ID tag on it draped over a chair in the robotics lab. Only worked for special occasions. In other words, the victim wasn't wearing her ID tag at the time. From the robot's point of view, her body was simply just another object.
Objection!
But Ponko is equipped with a facial recognition system. She really did move the victim, so we have recognized the body as Dr. Sykes. But he didn't, so that means...
Objection!
This can easily be covered with a piece of cloth, a mask, or anything else for that matter. Our facial features here, and the robot wouldn't be able to tell it was Dr. Sykes. He's right. To summarize, Miss Sykes stabbed her mother near the workbench, and using the robot, she moved the body to the table, where she removed the sword and was stained in blood. Order. If that's the case, then I have to question. Why did the defendant move the body to the operating table in the first place? You want the reason? Very well. What? You can't possibly have an explanation. You're most inclined you to the truth. You can learn a lot from our robot friends. Common rational thought will open your eyes to the truth in front of you, Mr. White. And do you remember the operating table's one special feature? I mean by what that robots can be assembled and disassembled there, isn't that right? That's right. Mentioned the defendant who was just a child at the time. The table was like a magic box that could make robots appear or disappear in seconds. But in the end, my mom just put her on the operating table and fixed her in a flash. I was so impressed by what my mom did. I even asked her if she would put me on the table and fix me if I ever got hurt. It looked just like magic to me, what he could do. You can't possibly be suggesting. This young sheltered girl had a difficult time distinguishing robots from people. Take a look at Ponko's arm. It was Miss Sykes who bands it up like that. She must have thought that machine heal in the same way that people do. What an adorable naive mistake. It reminds me of my own grandchild. No way. I refuse to believe it. Miss Sykes made a childish, naive, and cruel mistake. She thought that if a robot could be dismantled and vanish without a trace. But Prosecutor Edgeworth, if you're about to claim what I think you are, I demand that you word it as delicately as you can. With all due respect, Your Honor, all I can do is present the truth as it stands. The reason the defendant moved the victim's body to the operation table...
Hold it!
No! Don't say another word. Just stop! Was to dismantle the evidence so that she could get away with her crime. That can't be true! Order in the court! Order in the court, I say! Edgeworth, she was just a little kid. How can you say such a horrible thing? Horrible laughable. Like I said, you're just as green as ever. I came here today as a prosecutor to seek only the truth, nothing more, nothing less. My theory is simple, the result of a rational consideration of every possibility.
Objection!
But this thing isn't the table's only function. It can make repairs as well. It's conceivable that Miss Sykes moved her mother to the table in order to fix her. I suppose that could be another way of interpreting it. But this matter or repair, it doesn't matter either way. What do you mean? After murdering her mother, Miss Sykes may have come to her senses. Perhaps she did want to make it appear as if nothing had happened. And that's why she tried to repair her mother. Yes, that's one possible explanation. But we mustn't forget the facts of this case. The victim was observed to fall down after being hugged by the defendant. And the body was moved per the defendant's command. These two facts indict the defendant's guilt, remain uncharged. James, whatever. This can't be true. Mr. White, do you have any evidence to refute the prosecution's claim? Evidence? Right, let's see. I can't think of anything. I'm afraid I don't have any evidence. Since becoming chief prosecutor, I've learned that the truth isn't always pretty. Now accept the truth, Mr. White. Your subordinate murdered her own mother. Your Honor, the prosecution demands a verdict. The hostages have suffered enough. What a terrible and tragic conclusion. If the defense has no counter-argument, I see no need to further prolong this trial. If this argument seems solid enough, but there's no way Athena could have ever done anything like that. What do? There has to be something. I can't think of a single thing. Objection. Prosecutor Blackwell? This is quite the farce you're conducting here. I could die from laughter. Prosecutor Blackwell, what are you talking about? What I'm talking about is that your argument is based on an entirely false premise. Go on, we're listening. Could this be the miracle I need? What is Prosecutor Blackwell trying to pull here? 7 years. 7 long years. This case has been on my mind. Not for an effort I not think of it. I'm the one who killed my mentor and don't think you can alter that fact now. Upon this, I will take to the stand and I won't take no for an answer. Of course, Prosecutor Blackwell. Please go ahead. I went to the Cosmos Space Center with the intentions of killing Dr. Sykes. When I got to the robotics lab, I found Athena there instead. I'll not be strayed from my purpose, so I waited for Dr. Sykes to return. And then I committed the act. How cathartic it was. But little Ponko here witnessed the victim falling. In other words...
Objection!
I don't need any of your other words, old man. I can guess what happened. Which would be... She fell means she fell. Merely that. More than Todd fooling around. Perhaps he tripped? Not that it matters. When I entered the lab, there was no trace of Dr. Sykes to be seen. There was no dead body either, of course. Lucy must have left the room. So the murder occurred after the time period Ponko described in her testimony. She can only take stock in the words of a wind-up toy.
Objection!
How do you explain the fact that the defendant had the robot move something? It was always thinking with robots on the operating table to amuse herself. She always had Punko move the heavy ones for her. That day was no different. Punko moved the heavy robot for Athena. This is awful. What he's saying seems to make sense, and yet...
Objection!
Prosecutor Blackwell, are you trying even now to turn away from the truth? Did you realize we could bring the Dark Age of the Law to a close today?
Objection!
You expect too much from me. I'm just a murderer beyond redemption. Just let me go so I can settle down into hell. Mr. Blackwell's execution tomorrow. If the truth doesn't come out now, it's all over. You're saying that the little girl and the robot had nothing to do with the murder. That's right. So let's hear your verdict. If we don't hurry, I might miss the ferry across the sinks. Aye. Hold it! Don't you dare judge! Don't forget, I have hostages over here. And Simon, how long are you going to cover for her? Miss Blackwell, forgive me, Aurora. I never wanted you to do anything like this for me. But you agreed to this trial. If you have a counter-argument, then present your evidence. That's the rule of the courtroom. Isn't that right, Chief Prosecutor? Blackwell, you selfish! Well, to be frank, I don't like this, but it's my duty to make a decision. If no one has a counter-argument, I will announce my verdict. Is this really happening? Is it really going to end just like it did 7 years ago? I wanted to do it so bad. Even now, I want to fly out of here and go save him. No, I can't tell her. How can I lie to Athena? I can't prove Prosecutor Blackwell's innocence in this trial. I don't think Athena will ever forgive me. Let this happen. But I don't have the evidence to counter Prosecutor Blackwell's testimony. Athena, what are you... Are you feeling okay? I can hear it. I can hear the voice of his heart. He's hiding something. If he really is, I could still use Athena's help here. Her power might just be the thing to get us through this.
Objection!
Zack Stoner, no need for you to chime in here. Just accept that you're innocent.
Objection!
These past 7 years, they've been just as hard on me at you now. What are you talking about? Do you remember that horrible trial? Please, you have to listen to me. He didn't kill her. His heart is screaming that he didn't kill her. Even now, every time I stand in a courtroom, it comes back to haunt me. Not being heard, no matter how hard you try, feeling so helpless. Caught in people's stares, so scared that it feels like your chest is in a vice. I'm terrified of courtrooms. I want to run out of that door even now. And yet you found a way to keep your fears at bay and became a lawyer. Thanks. It's because because one day I came to realize that I had to fight. I couldn't give up. I exercised hard and I studied hard. I wanted to become the strongest lawyer I could be. This day has finally come. The day I've been looking forward to with all my heart. This is why I became a lawyer. This is why I studied psychology. It was all to save you from this false conviction. But Miss Sykes, do you realize what it would mean? You are the accused after all. If you prove Prosecutor Blackwell innocent, then... The only thing that matters is the truth. It's my duty to find out what that truth is. Simon, please give me this chance. The chance to shake off this fear that's been with me for 7 years and to find the truth. Athena's being so brave, confronting her past like this. This might really be the last chance to save them both. Prosecutor Blackwell, please testify once more about the incident 7 years ago. Fine. Will your efforts will surely be in vain? For I am not a man who can be cut down easily. Here we go, Simon. You hear the voice of your heart. Attention, I'm killing Dr. Sykes. But when I got to the box lab, I found Athena there instead. Got it! This feeling of happiness. Even though the person you were looking for wasn't there, you felt happy. Why is that? Simple. When I was looking for Athena and hadn't found her yet, I grew worried. So when I saw her in the robotics lab, I was happily relieved. Merely that. Just now you said that you went to the space center to kill Dr. Sykes. But the first thing you did was look for her daughter instead. I had no intentions of harming Athena, so I wanted to confirm that she was safe first. It was just a part of my plan. Nothing contradictory about that. The second I find an inconsistency, he cuts it down. Simon knows the principles of analytical psychology. There's less noise now, but I don't see any instabilities we can latch onto. I was afraid of that. I just have to keep chipping away at him then, bit by bit. Could you update his testimony, Athena? You got it, boss. Intention of killing Dr. Sykes. I found Athena in the robotics lab. I was relieved. But I would not be strayed away from my purpose, so I waited for Dr. Sykes to return. And when she did, I plunged the katana in. Got it! Not even you can falsify your emotions, Prosecutor Blackwell. What? When you said that you killed Dr. Sykes in your testimony, you felt sadness. Why would someone who had laid in wait to kill her be sad at her death? Such an obvious attack. Yes, I felt sadness, but it wasn't for her. I felt sorry for Athena and her circumstances. Gah! He can't be talking about that, can he? It was just a convenient subject for her research. Dr. Sykes was so intent on her research, she forced her daughter to undergo experiments. My objection was to save Athena from an obsessive scientist who treated her own daughter like a research subject. What? I went to the psychology lab first. That's where I would usually find Athena playing. But that day was different. I heard someone crying in the robotics lab next door. Was Athena being subjected to yet another experiment? I thought, as I went to see. Conveniently, Athena had cried herself to sleep, so all I had to do was wait and kill. So that's why he was relieved when he saw Athena. But is this story really true? I'm not sure how much to believe. Mr. White! How you doing, Athena? Still hanging in there? I'm a lot stronger than I look, boss. Now take a look at this. The noise level actually increased. It went up? I've never seen it do that before. Muscular Blackwell is lying somewhere in his testimony. As a matter of fact, he's piling lie on top of lie in an attempt to make his claims sound more believable. He's trying even harder to express his true feelings, and that's what's causing the noise. How in the world should I approach this? Evidence-based approach might work if I can find a contradiction. Otherwise, let's look for inconsistency in his emotions. There are no flaws in my testimony, and his boldness is prepared to give his verdict. Give up on this lost cause and let the law free me of these chains already. Objection! I don't think so. Not while I'm around. Contradictory testimony or inconsistent emotions. Which should I tackle first? Okay, let's look for inconsistent emotions. Got it, boss. But if you want to try looking for a contradictory statement instead, just let me know. I can easily switch over. I heard crying from next door. Of course I was worried. I hurried over and opened the door to the robotics lab. Got it! How odd. Why would you register surprise at opening the door to the lab? Alright, fine. I'll explain if I must. What's upon me was Ponko. That toy figure attacked me. Dr. Session knew full well of my plan to rescue Athena, but she couldn't stand guard over her daughter 24 hours a day. So Dr. Sex had Ponko do it? That's right. She ordered Ponko to forcibly remove me on sight. So I slashed Ponko up with the katana that was there in the lab. That rickety old puppet wasn't worthy of that fine blade. Mr. White, it's happening again. There's even more noise now. It's at 100% now. What's going on here? Whenever we find an opening, he covers it up with flies. We'll never get rid of the noise at this rate. It's pretty hard to keep telling coherent lies like that. His mind and will really are as sharp and strong as a katana. Alright, so I tackle first this time. I think there might be an inconsistency in Prosecutor Blackwell's testimony. Alright, let's give it a thorough check then. Feeling the dread, I opened the box lab door. Just then, Ponko attacked me. I retaliated by cutting it into pieces. Objection! Compounding lies with more lies is never the answer, Prosecutor Blackwell. Take a look at this photo. That's the photo of the supposed moment of the murder, isn't it? How many more times must I see that what's damned me for my sin? The only thing is, I think this picture's actually going to be your savior now. See the blood stain at the end of Ponko's arm? Where it was severed with the katana? hope you aren't claiming it's the robot's blood, Mr. White. No. Most likely the blood was transferred there from the bloody katana. The katana already had blood on it, so then it must have been the victim's blood. That's right. But if that's the case, we found a glaring inconsistency. You said in your testimony that you cut up Ponko and then you killed Dr. Sykes. But in spite of that, the victim's blood is already on Ponko's arm in this picture. What? But that couldn't be. Exactly. In order for the blood to have transferred from the sword to Ponko's arm, the victim must have been stabbed first before the robot was slashed. In other words, Prosecutor Blackwell, your entire testimony is nothing but one giant ball of lies. Tell the court the truth, Prosecutor Blackwell. Now! You have no idea what you're doing. His voice. There's so much discord. Yeah, not just one or two, but a bunch of rampaging emotions here. It's hard to describe. It's like a violent whirlpool or something. Phoenix Wright, you will pay for this. Never have I been forced to reveal so much. The rest I'll take to my grave. Mr. Blackwell, you're on the witness stand. You are obligated to tell the truth. Isn't that the rule of the courtroom? All these complex emotions, they seem to be flowing from one source. I think what we really saw that day is what's causing these feelings. Scene. I could get Athena out of there. Dr. Sykes came in. I had no choice but to kill my mentor. This voice, it hurts to even listen to it. Been living with this pain inside him for all these years? The root of all this is somewhere in his testimony, isn't it? Yes, that's right. Please hurry. Please set him free, Mr. White. I opened the lab door and then I saw that terrible scene. Got it! When you opened the door and saw Athena, you became overwhelmed by your emotions. Isn't that right, prosecutor? You should know better. And though it's pathetic, I admit I'm terrified to speak of it. Prosecutor Blackwell, Miss Sykes is innocent. I'll always believe that with all my heart. Now, can't you find it within yourself to believe in me, too? Athena's innocent, huh? Can you honestly say you believe that to be true? Right, Donna? I give you my word. Now tell me what you really saw when you opened that door. Curse you, Phoenix Wright! It was a tragedy, one I'll never forget. When I arrived at the lab, Dr. Sykes was already dead. He was lying on the operation table, while the bloody katana lay on the floor. And standing between the two, covered in blood, was Athena. She smiled, with a far look in her eyes, as she sweetly said, "Something's wrong with Mom, so I'm taking her apart to fix her." That's what I saw, and there you have it, the truth that you so desperately wanted. No. Prosecutor Blackwell finally tells the truth, and this is what it is? It's beyond devastating. I tried to take my mother apart. I... No! So it was me. I'm the one who killed my mother. Athena! As I said, right, the truth isn't always pretty. Murder, disassembly on an operating table. A scientist using her daughter as a guinea pig. Sadly, it appears that my theory was correct after all.
Objection!
It's true that Athena didn't like her mother's research, but you dare cast accusations on my mentor by claiming Athena was used in such a manner? Dr. Sykes could be awkward with people, but she loved her daughter with all her heart. She loved me? Your mother hated to see you suffer because you could hear the voices of people's hearts. She wanted to set you free of your pain, so she worked tirelessly on her research. Do you remember those headphones you hated so much? Yes, my head hurt every time I wore them. No, Athena. It's just the opposite. They emitted sound waves to nullify emotional input from the voices of people around you. Your power was much stronger than it is now. And those headphones were what enabled you to carry on with everyday life. No, that can't be true. Then why? Why would I have done something like that to somebody who loved me so much? My love for you was real. That I can guarantee. That's why I knew that what happened had to be some kind of mistake. I couldn't let you be punished for it. So you took the blame yourself. You and your mentor are more alike than you now. Parker was a witness. I put it in the case. Held Athena close and vacated the lab. Threw Parker away in the boarding lounge trash chute. And hid the case on that Space Center grounds. it seems that we now have all of the facts of this case.
Hold it!
No, not yet. I can't end like this.
Objection!
Do not disgrace yourself, Mr. Light. The truth has been revealed. Nor are you the type of man to turn your back to things that disagree with you. I'm not, but this... I can't give up now. I have to say something, anything, even if it's a bluff. I've always managed to put through that way in the past. I have to make it work. The defense is prepared to present evidence. Mr. White. Yes, Athena. It's okay. You can stop now. I don't want you or anyone else to suffer any longer for my sake. Athena, what are you saying? I killed my mother. It's the truth. It's just like Prosecutor Edgeworth said. We have to face it, no matter how much it hurts. I admit my guilt. But could I please be granted just one chance to tell everyone what I recall? It appears Miss Sykes is much braver than you, Mr. Light. What say you, Your Honor? In light of her courage, would the court give Miss Sykes this opportunity to confess? Very well. Then if you would, please take the stand, Miss Sykes. Thank you for letting me do this, Prosecutor Edgeworth. Thank you, Mr. White, and Prosecutor Blackwell, for letting the truth be known. Now we can finally move forward, and everyone's suffering can come to an end. Athena, Prosecutor Blackwell will be cleared, and the dark age of the law can come to an end. Yes, admit your guilt, and bring everything to its conclusion. I killed my mother. My memory is still a little hazy, but there's no question I remember it. I remember the weight of the weapon in my hands, the feeling of it stabbing in deep. I remember the warmth of her blood as it flowed down the handle onto my fingers. Your Honor, please find me guilty. I dare say these are all memories that no one but the murderer would have. I see. Thank you for your confession. I believe this trial has gone on long enough. Before we conclude, does anyone have a counter argument?
Objection!
I do, Your Honor. Mr. White? But, Mr. White, why? I killed her. I remember it now. Any counter argument now is pointless.
Objection!
Don't tell me you've forgotten one of the basic tenets of lawyering. Always believe in the client to the bitter end. Athena, you are not a murderer.
Objection!
I said that you never changed. What could you have actually regressed in these 8 years? I won't stand for your childish emotionalism getting in the way of the truth. Emotionalism? Don't lecture me on matters of my heart, Edgeworth. Because I can see straight into a person's soul. I did a little research. I looked into the special psychologs you mentioned, Mr. Nick. Athena isn't trying to keep anything from you on purpose. For some reason, part of her heart and her memories are sealed off, even from herself. There's still a chance, somewhere deep in Athena's heart, there might still be a memory that not even she knows about yet. It might be like looking for a grain of sand somewhere in the cosmos, but still, that memory might contain a new fact that could prove her innocence. I hope for everyone's sake that you are not just bluffing, Mr. White. Now then, is there or is there not a problem with Miss Sykes' confession? My memory's so a little hazy, but there's no question I remember it. I remember the weight of the weapon in my hands, and the feeling of it stabbing in deep. I remember the warmth of her blood as it flowed down the handle onto my fingers. There's a definite something wrong with her memory of the event, I can tell. If there is a problem with her confession, please bring it to this court now.
Take that!
Isn't that the katana the defendant used to kill the victim, Mr. White? I respectfully and vehemently disagree, Your Honor. But I remember it. I remember holding the weapon and getting blood on my fingers. That's exactly my point. If blood really did get on your fingers while you were holding it, there should be blood on the handle. Please focus on the handle of this sword. There's not a trace of blood on it. And therefore, this is clear a contradiction of the facts. You're right. Oh my.
Objection!
Her memories. She mentioned it was hazy to begin with, and we can't roll over every minor detail.
Objection!
But she also said there's no question I remember it. A fact we can't ignore. In that case, why don't you explain why this contradiction of her memories means? Gladly. Just give me a sec to think of something. I want to say that Athena didn't stab anyone. She said it was something to remember the feeling of committing the act. Phoenix think? What could the contradiction of Athena's memories mean? Miss Sykes said blood flowed down the handle. The katana's handle is spotless. So doesn't it follow that the defendant must have used a weapon other than the katana? What are you up to this time?